Brogan. She entered the convent as a very young woman, and while there she was asked to supervise the Magdalens. She soon left the convent, and in her play Eclipsed shed light on the lives of those women. The play has toured the world and has won many awards. She's now written her memoirs and joins me from our Galway studio. Patricia, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. And Eclipse was just one of the plays you have written around the whole issue of Magdalens. Can I ask you first of all, Patricia, can you bring us back to those early days? Why did you join the nuns, and what happened when you became aware of what was going on?
I wanted to work for the poor, and I was in boarding school with the St. Louis sisters, but they were different. They didn't work for the poor. They educated middle class women and girls. So I picked the Mercy Order because Mother Macaulay, the founder, founded the Mercy Sisters to look after women and poorer women. Then I entered as a novice, and now my mother of novices was a wonderful human being, but there was some of the superiors were very strict and very fond of fine food, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, you write very amusingly about some of the characters that you come across in the convent, and you didn't take any nonsense, did you, Patricia? I mean, you were very firm in yourself.
Yes, I had this sense of social justice from my parents. So anyway, there I was, and as I was a teacher, so during the summer holidays I was sent down to supervise in the Magdalen laundry, and as I walked with another sister to the Magdalen convent, the sister turned to me and she said, "This is the richest branch of the order around here." So just wondered. Then I noticed a very big chimney with smoke belching out of it, and then I was given a bunch of keys and brought down a long corridor and brought into this room, which seemed to me to be full of women, and there were machines and noise, and the walls even were sweating. And I was really shocked. I saw that the women were dressed in overalls that weren't too new, and they looked at me. Of course, I was their white-veiled jailer. When they looked at me, they saw their jailer. And I felt I was in Dante's Inferno. I could hardly breathe with the stench of bleach and the noise. And these poor women, some young, some middle-aged, and some older, walking around, and they almost became part of the machines. So I asked the Mother Superior, or the mother who had brought me in, who were they? And she said, "Oh, they're penitents. Nobody wants those women. They're the outcasts." And who put them in there? So later I found out that there were most of them unmarried mothers, but there were some who were Down syndrome and weren't wanted at home. In other words, these women were outcasts and they were dumped, literally
Patricia,
dumped.
one of the things I found extraordinary there was that when you walked into this, as you described, Inferno, you were clearly quite shocked by it, and the women tried to help you. They tried to kind of say, "It's okay, don't worry about it." And when you did some washing and laundry and got into trouble with your superior, the women kind of grouped around you.
They did, yes. And what happened was I decided I was a woman and I was there and they were women. So I had a bundle of keys and I wondered if I should just open the doors and let them out. But then I realised that they hadn't any money, they weren't paid for their labour, and what would happen to them? Even their parents didn't want them. So they were just dumped and they were outcasts. And then one day one of them came up to me and she said, "We're all going on strike, sister." So I was trying to be a good nun as well, and I had this crisis of vocation. And I suppose crisis of faith too, and how could God do this to these women? His mother was pregnant really outside marriage too, as Nellie Nora says, so what could I do? So they decided to go on strike, and they sat down in the middle of the laundry, turned off the machines, and sat on the floor. So what I did was I went over and I sat down beside them and I prayed silently. And after a few minutes, they all went back to work again. Said
Yeah, it was an amazing account. That, you know, there's so much more in this book, Patricia. And obviously your play Eclipse was based on that. It won awards at the Edinburgh Festival. It won awards in New York. But there's a lot more to your life than just the Magdalen Laundries. It's a fascinating account. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there for this morning, Patricia. But thank you very much for joining us from our Galway city, our Galway studio rather. And that book is called Memoir with Gregson Turlocks. And I presume it's in the bookshops now, Patricia, yeah?
Well, not launched yet, but very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.